This is my bread recipe. Some friends tried it recently and they really wanted the recipe, so I figured I'd share it with everyone. I start with 2 cups of water. I just use the hottest water out of the tap. Then I mix in a 1/4 cup of butter. If you use a little more, it won't hurt, don't worry. And then I use 4 tablespoons of sugar. You can use honey too. It's a great alternative, especially if you have bees. You can use up your honey to make bread. It makes really delicious bread. And then I add my yeast afterwards so I don't beat the crap out of it while I'm mixing all that together. Give it a little stir. And then it's time for it to bloom. Next, I'll grab 4.5, sometimes 5 cups of flour, and I'll add in a tablespoon of salt and mix the salt with the flour so it doesn't interfere with the yeast. Give my mixture a little bit of a stir really gently, not to upset the yeast too much, and then I sprinkle my flour all around the sides. Next, you just start to mix, and it'll start to come together after a while. I just focus on the center and just keep mixing in the center, and gradually the flour just kind of incorporates itself as it kind of shifts down from the sides of the bowl. And I find this works really easily, so you don't have to be dumping a cup at a time or anything like that. Mix. And once you notice it coming together fairly well, you can take out your utensil and get your hands in there so you can knead it. I don't knead my bread as long as most people do. I know a lot of people knead it for like 5 or 10 minutes or even longer, and I don't know, I don't do it that long. Just a few minutes, just enough so that it's all incorporated and there's no flour stuck around the sides of the bowl anymore. And once it's all together, I always pour a little bit of avocado oil over the top and make sure that's all around the whole thing. And then I will let it sit for about 40 minutes. If you leave it for an hour, it's not a big deal. And then there it is. That's the first rise. You can see how the wheat gluten has gotten all elastic. It looks really cool. And then I just separate it in half and then in half again and roll my balls up, pop them into my pan with some parchment paper, and then I let them rise for a second time. After that, they come out looking pretty poofy, and I very, very carefully put them into the oven because you can totally deflate them after they've risen that second time. And here's the end result. Absolutely beautiful bread. I really love this recipe. It's very light and fluffy and tasty. And these 2 loaves usually last about a week. So I bake bread once a week, so it works out really well. I put some butter on top. And just look at that elasticity in the bread. It is gorgeous. I love this recipe so much. It's so good. I'm not even supposed to eat bread, but if I do have a little bit, I must say with this organic flour and all the organic ingredients and letting it bloom properly and all that kind of stuff, I don't find it hurts my stomach as much as, other gluten things. So it's very good. You can check out my other videos on art, nature, animals, stuff like that. Thanks so much for watching.